Okay, lesson 6.8, you're solving two-step inequalities. So again, as I said in the last video, you need to make sure you're remembering those symbols. If you're still struggling with them, I would start quizzing myself because your test is just around the corner. Okay, two-step inequalities, you're going to solve very much like you would a two-step equation. So you're trying to get your variable by itself. You have your two sides. And to undo this plus 4, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides or add a negative 4. And we get 3x is greater than or equal to 16 plus negative 4 is 12. And then I divide by 3 because 3 is being multiplied to x. And I have x is greater than or equal to 4. I asked myself, was 3 negative? Did I divide by a negative? No, I did not, so I can just leave my sign as it is. I have 4, 3, and 5. And now I make an open circle at 4. I'm sorry, a closed circle at 4. And I shade it to the right. Okay, 2a, we have 5 plus 4x is less than 33. So the first thing I'm going to move is the 5. Remember, we're trying to undo addition and subtraction to x. So whatever is being added to x gets moved first. And so we subtract 5 from both sides. And we have 4x is less than 28. And we divide both sides by 4. We get x is less than 7. So we make our number line here. And we do an open circle at 7, shaded to the left. Okay, so I have 3a. The first thing I'm going to do is go through and ding dong. And I move to move my 7 first. I subtract 7 from both sides or add a negative 7. And I get negative 2x is greater than 11 plus negative 7 is 4. And then I multiply or divide by a negative number. I got to flip it. I've got to flip it. Yes, I've got to flip my sign, cha-cha-cha. So as you can see, I divided by negative 2, which meant I needed to flip my sign, which is why I broke out into song. So now I have x is less than negative 2. So I have negative 2, negative 3, and negative 1. And then I go and I plot my graph and I do an open circle at negative 2, shaded to the left. Okay, for A, the first thing I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to add the opposite. And so I have x plus 2 plus negative 5 is less than 8. So to get rid of that negative 5, I'm going to add a positive 5 to both sides. And I now have x divided by 2 is less than negative 3. And I'm trying to get x by itself. So I'm going to multiply by 2. And I wrote a 3. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And I get x is less than negative 6. I come over here, I have negative 6, negative 7, and negative 5. And then I have an open circle at negative 6 shaded to the left. So my answer is any number that's less than negative 6. Okay, for D, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the opposite. It's always my first. So I go ding, dong. I'm going to get rid of my 8. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So I have negative x over 4 is less than or equal to negative 1. To get rid of this negative 4, because I want x completely by itself, I'm going to multiply by negative 4. And since I'm multiplying by a negative number, I got to flip it. I've got to flip it. Yes, I've got to flip my sign, cha-cha-cha. Negative 1 times negative 4 is a positive 4. So I go and I graph it, and I have 4, 5, and 3. And I make a closed circle at 4, shaded to the right. Okay, number 5. Halfway through the bowling league season, Stuart has 34 strikes. He averages 2 strikes per game. Write and solve an inequality to find how many more games it will take for Stewart to have at least 61 strikes, the league record. Interpret the solution. Okay, so Stewart averages 2 strikes per game. So we're going to do 2 times the number of games that we think he should play, which is X, because we don't really know how many games we think he should play yet. And then we add on the 34, because that's what he's already bold. And we are trying to get at least, so greater than or equal to 61. So then we subtract 34 from both sides. We have 2x is greater than or equal to 27. And then we have 2x is greater than or equal to 27. So to get x by itself, we need to divide by 2. So we have x is greater than or equal to 27 divided by 2 is 13.5. And so he's going to have to play 14 games to win or to beat the record. So we circle it, and that's our answer.